Hey guys, hello everyone. I hope you can see and hear me. If not, please let me know again through the comments. As always, I appreciate a comment just to see that you're there, but also if you have any questions on the way or any feedback, just let me know about it. As always, it's a communication between you and me, so I'm coding, but we still can have a good time together. And if you have any tips, just let me know about it. And also, if you have a question and you think it might be a dumb question, please go ahead and ask it because there are no dumb questions. Hello, Beganovic, and Felix says everything is fine. Okay, good. By the way, can you hear the background music a little bit today? Hello, Gertjan. Nice to have you here as well. Because I changed my microphone a little bit, and I think you should hear a little bit of the background music today. Because it turned out it's quite tricky to also use something like Apple Music and bring that music into StreamYard as well. It seems like I need another application to do this. So what I'm trying right now is to get the music out of the speaker in front of me and into this microphone as well. Okay, Gertjan can hear it. Freak is just here to check if I'm sharing my screen here. Yeah, last time I didn't. I was talking like for 10 minutes and people were already complaining in the comments. So thanks for making sure about this. The music is very quiet, so I think that's the only option for now because otherwise it would be too loud for me, but I'm glad you can hear it a little bit. All right, so let's get started. So I have shared my screen now. Freek, please let me know. Can you see my screen? You have to make sure now every time that I'm sharing and you can see everything. Hello, Davind K. Not sure if this is your name. That's a good hint by Freek because you have to be very careful when you use any music while you do streaming on platforms like Twitch or YouTube because of copyright. So I'm using right now a service or a band or a label called Stream Beats. Yeah, and they created just music that you can use for streams because they allow this. So that's very important if you ever come in the same situations, because otherwise YouTube will delete your video afterwards. So we don't want to do this. All right, so what's the plan for today? For if people are new and didn't see what we built the last time, so we have here our super nice, beautiful little platform where you can share some code snippets. Last time we were working on some highlighting of those code snippets with some built-in PHP functions. So this was really nice. Of course, we need a lot of styling here, but that's basically the idea. You can share some code snippets, and then you can click them, and then you can see different solutions or refactored versions of this. Of course, the code here is just the same so far, but this will be the goal of the platform. People can share their examples, and other people can say, hey, okay, I would maybe do this a little bit different, and then we can learn from each other. So that's the main goal of this platform. Okay, so what do we want to do today? So last time we were working on code highlighting, and it's not perfect yet, but it's fine for now. And today I want to tackle formatting the code. And it turned out this is a little bit tricky. So I did some researching before, and I'm not sure if we're really gonna make this happen today, but I have one approach that I want to try, and we'll see how this goes. So when I'm talking about code format, I mean, so this is how people write their code. And of course, they format it differently, where they have their braces, where they have some white space and things like this. And of course, on a platform like this, we want this all to be consistent and to look the same, because then it's much easier for everybody to grasp the code and see what's going on and read it. Hello, Adrian. Nice to see you here as well. Yeah, let me see. So Freek was mentioning you can use it to create a virtual audio output that combines music and output of the mic. Yeah, so I don't see if you have mentioned this in another comment before, but I think you're talking about a Mac app called something with Loop. I think that's what the app is called. And what you can do with this application is combine different music audio outputs into one. And this would be then easier to share it through services like StreamYard. So I think it was called something with Loop. Let me know, Frank, if you have already tried it. So maybe I'm going to contact you about that, because I think, yeah, it would be a little bit nicer to have some louder background music for you too. So make this a little bit easier. Okay, so yeah, we want to try to format those code snippets. The way that I think of it right now is when you create a new one here with the content, then we store it, and before we store it to the database, I want to run it through a service and then format it so that it gets formatted into the database. And yeah, I'm pretty sure you have used different services, like the most common one is PHP CS Fixer, which you can use. And let me see, where do we have an example here? Usage. Oh yeah, so you use the PHP CS Fixer, and then you fix a specific source, a directory, or file, and then you can define some rules. And according to those rules, the files will be formatted. So, Loopback is the application that Freek mentioned, which I want to try. I think you have to pay for it. I think there's a free version, but maybe we'll talk about this afterwards, Freek, and you can share, or maybe you can share your experience with it already, because I think that's interesting. Let me just hide this. Okay, we don't need this. So yeah, using such fixes is pretty easy if you do it from the command line, because they're all built to use it from the command line. But if you want to use it from within code, it gets a little bit tricky. So I've been searching the last 2 days if there was a simple solution. I thought there maybe might be a package where I could run just a PHP class and put in some string and get it formatted out. But it seems that this is that there is none yet. So maybe I have to create one myself. But yeah, I think so, because of course all these tools are using some kind of comments. So I think here's probably, we also have some comments here. Maybe we can find it here. Yeah, so probably it's the fix comment that we're using here. And then let's see, can you all see this? I'll make it a little bit bigger. And then I think probably, okay, I think that's the one that then gets called. And here we get some input, some configuration we are setting. So in the end, of course, some PHP code is being run, but yeah, I didn't want to spend too much time to try to get this code out and make it work from a class that I can run myself, because this is highly integrated into the command line functionality. At least it seems for me. So I don't want to go this way today. So I think what I want to try today is to use the very security-friendly Excel execute shell command. So pretty sure you all know this. There's, I think it's called something like shell execute command, and then you can run some shell commands through your PHP code, which is, in many cases I wouldn't use it at all, because of course it's not security friendly. Let's put it like this, because if you run some codes on the command line through your code, if anybody gets to this place in your code, they can do a lot of bad things. But since I didn't find any better approach for now, I think we're going to try to make it work with the shell command and running this from PHP, and then we will go on from there and see if maybe someone comes up with a better solution. Maybe we're going to refactor it together. So we're going to see about this. All right, so before we start, as always, we want to make sure that all of our tests are passing. So let's run them so that we have a good common ground to start with. This looks good. Okay, so now we have to think about how we would want this to work. So the way that I think about is, so I think we're storing the code snippet inside our component here. Yeah, so this is where we're going to store the content. And yeah, I think I probably will create a class that I can pass the string and that gives me back the formatted code. So I think this is what I end up doing here through my Livewire component. So this means I will have a class, and if we have a class, then we can test this class. So I think that's a good way, because always at the beginning you have to think about how it will turn out in the end, so that you can think about how you can test it. Do I test the Livewire component? Do I test what gets stored to the database? Or what we are doing, I think, is going to test a specific class, and there's a format method on it. And I think that's what we're going to do. So let me see what Adrian is saying here. Symfony console, if you want to interact with the shell. Okay, so do you have an example or maybe a link where I can see how this could be done? Maybe an example? I don't think I have specifically used the Symfony console for something like this, but if you have an example, maybe we can see how this could look like. But I think we're still going to end up with a PHP class where I'm going to pass in our code snippet content. So this here, and then we would get back the formatted code. So let's create a new test. And it will be a feature test, I think. And when we think about this class, I think we were going to call it code formatter. Yeah, I think something like this. And of course, we forgot about the test, because here we're going to write the test. So let's just check again. We have a feature test called code formatter test, and here we want to run a test for the code formatter class. So let me check. We have some more comments. I bet Freak has some good examples for running shell commands through the Symfony console, maybe with his PDF package with Chrome. Okay. Symfony console is super nice. One of the nicest packages from Symfony project. Okay, let's give it a look. So let's see how this would be differently from just running the shell execute command, because this is what I don't know right now. Symfony console package. Let me see if we find some examples here of how this could help us right now. Okay, there's a documentation page. Okay. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like I would create a command, a PHP class, and then I would run it through, through the console application. Let me check this through. First, you need to create a PHP script. Okay, then you can register the comments. Okay, let's see if we have some examples here as well. What do we have here? Creating a comment. Okay, so it seems like this sounds like very much like how I would use comments in Laravel. But the difference is that from the console package, I can execute the shell command. Is that right? So that's the thing that I'm currently a little bit confused about. So we create a command. Okay, for me this very much looks like similar to Laravel comments. So I'm not sure where this would run our shell script. Yeah, so that's what I think right now too. So I guess that's what I'm maybe a little bit mixed up now that Laravel is using the Symfony console command, and this is pretty much the same. Because the thing about this is with Laravel commands, I have to execute the command somehow. And with Laravel commands, I might do this through the scheduler or through a cron shop. But what I want to do is I want to run the shell script inside my PHP code. So that's the thing where I see this is different. Okay. Symfony process is not the... Let's check this out. Symfony process. So the Symfony process class executes a command in a sub-process. Okay, this looks now a little bit more like we want to do. So these are shell commands. And inside this process, I just put in what I want to do. Oh yeah, maybe I'm starting by reading this. This class execute a command in a sub-process, taking care of the differences between operating systems. It replaces function like, okay, so yeah, so that's really what we want to do. We want to replace this. So can I just create a new process, put my command in here, and then run it? I think so. Let me check this here. Okay. Okay, this way I could echo some output here. Okay, I see. Okay, so I think I tried to make it work with the shell execute command first, and then we will try to refactor it and make it work with the Symfony process component, because I think this would be too much overhead now for me. I'm trying to figure this out because I've never used this package before, and this might be not so fun for you. So let's try to make it work with the shell execute command, and then we come back here. So, hello, Abhishek, nice to have you here too. So let's think about our first tests. Create formats, code snippet. Okay, let's think about how we would want this to work. So I probably will have here a new formatter class. So again, I'm just writing down how I think this could end up. Of course, all of this is not working yet, and we don't have these classes yet. But that's our wishful thinking, wishful development. So we're creating a new code formatter. Then We want to get out here our formatted snippet. And then maybe we're passing in here a code snippet. Let's call this wrong formatted snippet. We pass this in here, we get back the correct one. And then we want to make an assertion to check how this would look like in the end. So how would we do this? We want to assert that something is equal. So we expect it to be, I think here I think for the test I will probably have some test files where I could load this from. So probably something like file get content, and then I would get my how would I call this? Right formatted snippet, something like this, and then we want it to be equal to the formatted snippet. So I think this is how we would want to test this. So in the meantime, Adrian wrote a little example. Okay, so we would create a new process. Path to CSS fixer, the comment, and then the path to the file and run it. Okay, so it seems like this should be pretty easy. Do you know, Adrian, how this would be different from just running the shell execute command? It's safer? I think this could be one advantage. Maybe there's another one. If you know, let me know. In the meantime, let me check here. So we want to have this class. We want to have this format method on this class. We pass in here some wrong formatted code snippet. So I think, let me just get this out here. And I think here we're also going to load the content already. So we have our let's call it correct formatted snippet. And then we would load this file. Of course, we don't have it yet. And then let's okay, so I don't this. Let's duplicate this here. And now we have the wrong formatted snippet. And then we'll pass in here the wrong one. That's the one that we want to format. And then here we're going to check that our formatted snippet is the same as the correct formatted snippet. So I think that's what I want to do. So let me see about the comments. I think when dealing with user input, it can be a security issue. Yeah, that's for sure. I think the worst part would be using some variables inside your shell executes script. So that's definitely something that the Symfony process would help us with. Then keep in mind, you can always just directly format the SPS file info instance instead of running a console command. Let me think what this means. Keep in mind, you can always directly format the SPL file info. So I think that's the info of a specific file as an object, I think. Let me know if that's correct. Instead of running the console command. I'm not really sure what I mean by this. So I can format the SPL file info, but I need to run the shell command in order to use a tool like PHP CS fixer. So that's what we want to use. So let me know if I didn't understand you correctly here, or if you mean this differently. Okay, and Adrian said, yeah, but it's no big deal because you control the arguments. Yeah. So that's what I thought too, since I'm passing in just a string to the shell execute script. So in the end, it will look something like PHP CS fixer and fix test PHP file, something like this. So since I'm in control of this string here, it's probably not that dangerous, but still, if I can, I would try to avoid this method. Okay, but I think this is basically how we would want to test this. So we have a class, which we spin up. We have two files here. So this would be some PHP files. We have some test snippets. So how is it rightly formatted and wrong formatted? Let's switch this up. And then we act by passing the wrong formatted snippet to our formatter. And we assume that we get back a correct formatted snippet, and we test it by seeing if it's equal. I think Bogdanovic meant was that you can also just call the PHP class of the package directly instead of through the terminal. Call the PHP. Yeah, so okay, so I think what you mean is if I'm using the PHP CS fixer package, that I could use one of their classes that they are using to run the formatting. So I think this is what you meant. Please let me know if I'm right. And I looked at the class a little bit and tried if I can do this easily, but it didn't felt like it was easily done. So that's why I skipped it for now. So I assume the workflow would be string, file, run CS fixer, get content. So yeah, I haven't touched this yet, but I was thinking about this the same, because since we're using the shell command of PHP CS fixer, we're going to have to provide a file. And since we get just a string through our form, we probably need to store this into a file, then run the PHP CS fixer for the specific file, and then get this content out of the file and store it to the database. So I think that's what we're going to do here. Yeah, no worries at all. It's always difficult with just a few words to explain what you mean. All right. Okay, so I think let's just start by running this test and see where it takes us. So the class does not exist. Okay, that's true. So let's create this one here. So where do I want to put this? I think, yes, always if I don't know about the specific directory, I'm going to start by using a support directory, and then later I'll probably move it. And we want a new class called code formatter. And I think that's it for now. Let's get back to the class. Make sure we import it, and let's run the test again. So, okay, so we don't have our snippets yet. So let's think about them for a second. So let me think where we would want to put this. I think I would want to have them inside my test directory. So probably do something like create a new directory for examples, and then we have a new file called wrong formatted snippet.php, and copy this one. Nope, I mean the file, and let's call this correct formatted snippet. Yeah, so something like this. Okay, I'm back in our test. We want to get the path of our test directory. I don't think there is something like the test path, right? So I think we probably have to go with the base path. And then I think it will be tests, examples, something like this. Okay, let's copy this. Get rid of this. And here we need to rename it. Okay, let's try this again. What do we complain about? File got failed to open stream, no such file or directory. Okay, let me see about this. We are in the test directory, examples. Oh yeah, I misspelled this, so we've changed this to correct. Okay, run it again. And undefined method. Okay, this is much better. Let me see about the commands. It was PSI. Okay, not sure what this is about. Yeah, I was really surprised because I also noticed this currently. So this means we have here autocomplete through the Laravel ID plugin or idea plugin. Is it called Laravel idea? I think, yeah, idea. So that's nice. Thanks for this, Fadel. Yeah, probably this would work too. Okay, so we don't have this method yet. So add this method here. So we want to provide a string here. We call it code snippet. Okay, let's get back to the test. Run it. And it's passing. Okay, that's not really nice. So yeah, I think we're done now. We can leave it. It seems like everything is working now. We have finally made this work without writing any shell execute command. So that's pretty cool. It's not. It was just a joke. This is one of those false positive tests because so probably they are the same. We don't get anything back here and we don't get anything back from this, and that's why they are the same. So yeah, that's always when you have to be careful about passing tests, because when it's too early, it's probably not a good sign. Okay, so how do I fix this? I think let's think about our snippets here first. So let's start with the correct one. So I think I have copied somewhere a class somewhere. That one from the Laravel documentation. Where would we find one? Maybe in the console. Let's just copy a class for now. And let's get rid of a lot of things that we don't need. So let's keep the class. user constructor, and I think that's it. So I think that's how I want it to be. So it seems the first line is empty here. Okay, yeah, I'm fine with that. Okay, so that would be the correct formatting of this class. And now let's copy this in here and let's make some kind of mistakes, like here, maybe here as well. What else could we do? Let's put these together. Normally we also get a line in between. So I think this would already help. Okay. Some more comments, let me see. Be cool to have autocomplete for live via this redirect route, okay. Okay, edit, this is fast. In cases like this, I sometimes just add a assert not empty check. Let me see where I would test this. So probably here. I think that's what you mean, right? Assert not empty formatted code snippet. Because here we should, this is the thing that we create, this shouldn't be empty, and this should fail now. Asserting that null is not empty. Okay, so yeah, I like this. Let's keep this. I think that's a good idea for this. And Adrian, oh, okay, good, thanks. And Adrian was also saying CS Fixer will remove unused import statements. Okay, this means we can already get rid of this. And then let's copy this again to the wrong one. And let's just change this here. Okay, good. Back to our test here. So yeah, now it shouldn't be empty. Okay, we already had this error before. Okay, so let's see this. Fail asserting that null is not empty. Okay, yeah, okay, so it seems we can load these twos here, but now we get null back here from our format method. And that's fair enough because we haven't returned anything. So the music is out. This, by the way, stream beats the free music that you can use for streaming. So there's not a lot. So it's pretty nice that there's at least some sort of options here. Okay, so we got here our code snippet. So how do we get this back now? So I think we need to store the snippet to a file. Then we would run PHP CS fixer, load the formatted snippet, and then yeah, return it. I think that's what we're going to do here. And we're then going to return a string. Okay, so let's store the snippet somewhere. Where do we want to store it? I think I might store it also here inside this example, and I probably will delete it every time after I created it. So this means I think it also makes sense to create now a new disk for our example directory. Let's copy this local one. And or do I want to store it in the storage? What do you think in this case? Would you store it inside the test directory, or would you store it inside a specific storage disk? I think I would prefer to have it in my tests, but yeah, I think just go with my test, and let's call this, if we call this example, would this make sense? So this is the disk for my examples. So this would be something like this. Driver would be local, and the root would be storage path. No, it wouldn't. It would be base path then. Tests and examples. I think something like this. Okay, this means now here I would make use of the storage facade for now. Call a specific disk, call examples. We have some auto completions here. Thank you, Fidel. And I think it's put. So what are the arguments again? The path and then the content. Okay, so how do I call it? I would call it temp.php, and the content would be the snippet. So, okay, so now we're at the point where we have provided some more implementation to our code formatter, and now we are storing a file. So I'm now thinking about if it would make sense to switch to another test and make sure that we store this file when we run this method. Okay, you guys are the same opinion. That's nice. He's on the right track because that's the actual code formatter. So it seems like it's a joke, but I don't get it. I'm on the right track because that's the actual code formatter. Sorry, I don't get it. And work with UUID. So you'd mean for the name of the file? Let me know if you mean this. But actually, I think I don't care about the name because I'm going to delete it right afterwards. But okay, I think, yeah, it probably could be a problem if more users are doing this at the same time. So probably that's the point here, so that we don't run into any problems here where one user is storing an example, another one too, and then the temp file is get mixed up in between. So I think Adrian, you showed me this. So I think for the string helper, we also have now a UUID method. So let's probably get this out here, and let's call this file name. I think we're going with this approach now. Then we have a unique ID, so we don't run into any problems. And yeah, back again to the situation that we store a file here. So at one point, I need to make sure that those files are deleted again. Because with our other test, let's check this again. Tested formats the code snippet. So here we are concentrating on the snippet. I want to make sure that we get the right snippet. but we also want to make sure that we don't end up with any temporary files. So I think I'm going to start with another test here, and test is now in between. But let me think. Yeah, I don't think we need to make sure that we store the file. I think we just want to make sure that we delete it again. So yes, I think I can keep this for later. I think I'm going to just leave this here with a comment, test delete file. All right, so now we should have this inside a file. I think let's just run it right now and see if this is working. So it's failing, but we have here now our file with the class. Okay, that's nice. So let's get back to our test. And let's get back here. So this means we have this file now. Now we need to run PHP CS Fixer, and we don't have it installed yet. So let's do this. Composer, require. Yeah, that's another one I tried out, which does also the same, and it's maybe a little bit easier to handle, but it also does not come with a nice in-code solution. Let me see. Yeah, here I have it. Friend of PHP, PHP CS Fixer. All right. So we're doing this in assert that the disk is empty. Yeah, but actually it's not empty since we already have those other two files that I want to keep. So what I could do is I could use another directory and then test if this is empty, but I think I don't mind right now. I only will check that this file is later being deleted. So, okay, first let's make sure that we can really run PHP CS Fixer. So, PHP CS Fixer. I already have it here. Let's get back to documentation and see how we would run this. So probably it should work like this. And let's try out our correct formatted file here. So test examples, fixed all files. Okay, we haven't defined a configuration file with our rules, but I think by default it's using a default file. So for now, I think I'm fine with this. It doesn't tell me if it changed anything, so I'm not sure if it worked. Nope, it did not work. So let's think about why. Oh, this is the one. Oh yeah, the correct one, there is nothing to change. So that's the wrong path here. You probably already saw it. Okay, let's just look using cache file. Okay. I think this looks better now. Let's see. Yep. So this definitely changed. Let's see if we can see the change here. This is the one. Okay, I don't see the I don't see the change because I haven't created it before. That's why. Okay, but let's bring this back here to how it was before. Yeah, okay, so we made sure that PHP CS fix is working. Adrian also said use the storage path. Let me see what this was for. This is about our test here. Please let me know, Adrian, what you meant with this. I'm probably already a little bit far ahead of when you wrote this. Okay, so let's run our shell execute command, and the command would be PHP CS fixer fix test examples, and then the file name. Let me change this. So that I can use the file name like this. Okay. So we don't get anything returned here, at least not the formatted code. So you mean I should use the storage path for the disk to store temp files? So you separate test files with actually test files. So let me think about this. And Gertchen is also asking about the example files. No, so I think what he meant is that these two are different files. So these are ones that we created ourselves that we need in our test as our examples. And these are ones that we are created by the user and which probably therefore would be better fitted inside the storage path. I think that's what you meant. Yeah, I can see this point. So if the type of those files are different, the reasons why we need them and how they are created, because these are ones that we really need in our test, and these are ones that will be created and then deleted again. So yeah, I think that's a good idea. So let's change this in our file system. Let me see about the name here again. So the disk, let me see, are we using the other disk as well? So we're only using it to put our examples. And probably examples is not. I think I would go just with a temp folder for now, because we don't care what they are. We just want them to be in a temp folder. So storage path. And let me see about this. So what do we have? Yeah, and then app and temp. I think I would go temp. Yeah, so okay, Adrian is on the same page here. He would also create a temp disk, and yeah, I think it makes sense for this, like for things like that. He would go with just temp without the app. Yeah, I think this doesn't. There is no big difference in those two approaches. Okay, so do we have to change anything else? No, we are we are storing it in our temp disk now, and now we run PHP CS fixer. And now the file is now not this one. Yeah. So this means we do need now storage path. I think what we can't use in here. So let's get back. Storage path. but here we can use it. Temp tmp file, I think like this. Let me check again. So we're running a shell execute command for PHP CS fixer, and we want to fix a specific file, storage path, temp, and the file name. Okay. Then we need to load it. So get still the same file name, right? I think this is already what we would return now. Let me check this. We're using our storage disk with the name temp. We get the file and return it. Okay, let's test this out. Let's run this test, and it seems like it's working. We do get some output here. I think that's just the output from the command, the PHP CS fixer command. I'm not sure if I care about this command. Could this lead into any problems that I get this output here? Because then in the real code, is it outputted somewhere too as well? Could be. I don't know. Let's see about this. And okay, let me check again what we tested. So yeah, I was just wondering if we can check it here as well, if everything was working, but this should still be the wrong one. Yeah, this is still the right one. Oh, we still have our file. Okay. So, oh, that's the one from before. I'm already confused, so let's get rid of this. So we can check now in our storage path, storage temp, this file here, and this should be correct now. Okay, so this means it worked. All right, now let's also get back to our test. Let me see, I have some more comments here. So let the storage class give you the path to the file. Okay, let me see about this. So you mean instead of this storage path helper using storage disk? Is this what you mean? Thinking about where I would see a difference here if I use the storage path helper. Yeah, it probably would be consistent if I use it here to use it here as well. So storage disk, I always forget about this. There is not a nice method to get the path. Does it work like this, get the path? I don't think so. I think there's, I don't know about the okay. Okay, that's a good point. So this way we are using the globally one. So this means what I should do actually is use clear this. So when the bin So that's the wrong. Are the right one correct? Yeah. Thanks for this. Let me just check if our test is still passing. So okay, I don't find it right now. So this is how I would want to do this. Yeah, let's check if the tests are still passing now. Okay, this looks good. Now let's bring in the local one. Run this again. Okay, this looks good. And now we also want to try out the path here. Also, you can PHP CS fix quiet. Yeah. That's a good idea. So I think I would do this like this. So do we have the output now? Yeah, we do have it. Run it again. Oh yeah, thanks a lot. Good hint. And yeah, later we'll try to make this a little bit more beautiful. But for now, this is working. And now, what did we say? Storage disk path. Okay. What's wrong here? Storage. Why is this not working right now? Is it maybe because I'm inside the execute command? Could this be? Temp, and then we want to get, we want the path of the file name. I think like this. All right. Okay. Seems like we have a problem, Houston. Oh yeah. And now I need the path here. Correct? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, okay. This is now working. Thanks for this. Olaf Lowe, nice to have you here as well. Mr. Beganovic also suggests using storage disk path instead. Okay, so that's the same as Adrian said, because you might change the driver later, for example. Yeah, okay, this is a good, yeah, like Adrian said, it's good to be consistent here. Okay, and you already saw the mistake that I did. Okay. It's getting already a little dark. So, okay, this is working now. Let's also make sure about our second test here. It deletes the TMP file. Which we used to format. All right, so we want this again. We want to run this again, because only if we run it, is there a problem here? Houston, do we have a problem? What's wrong here? Can't use temporary proof. What? You probably have already seen it. Can't use temporary expression in the right context. Okay. Do you see it? $sign? Oh yeah. Thank you guys. Oh my god, those stupid mistakes. I read it 3 times and I didn't see it. That's not good. Okay, do I care about what gets in here? Actually not. I just want to make sure that PHP CSS fixer can work with it, because yeah, what I've seen before, if you only add like a method, like a public method, for example, or protected method without any class, it would fail. So I think if I just do something like this, PHP CSS fixer shouldn't complain about it. Okay, and then yeah, before this, we also want to make sure that that we don't have this file. No, we can't test it because okay, that's interesting. So I can only check if it's empty, because yeah, we don't know the name. Yeah, I think so. So this means, what do we have? File. I think there are also somewhere some disk. Is this on the disk itself? Check again. So I remember there was something like an assertion here, empty, something like this. We do have exists, pretend. Okay, somewhere in my mind, I think we have something like, oh, Getkin has to go. Yeah, see you another time. Thanks again for joining and for your help as well. Oh, by the way, Mr. Beganovic is just Benjamin. So Mr. is too serious. So Mr. Benjamin. I think I like that. We go for Mr. Benjamin. 19 years old and can already help me a lot. That's nice. Nice to have you here, Benjamin. And nice to know your name now. Ah, yeah, that's what I was missing. So the methods were on the storage disk, on the fake disk. So this means now TMP. We already have here my assertions now. So how did let me check this again. Okay, probably we don't have auto completion yet. Could this be the case here? Because I'm faking it, then I'm using the disk, and then I'd like to assert something. Let's just see what we return here. So where do we make the fake? Create local driver. I try to find if I see where I find the methods. Okay, Adele has to go too, so see you next time, Adele. Adrian is saying with Okay. So we could just test to get all files. But let me check again. I think there was also something like assert exists. Okay, we can assert that a specific file exists. Okay, I'm fine right now. Okay, let's see. So all files. So I think we could probably then test assert count expected 0. Probably something like this. Yeah. And then we run our format method, and then we do this again. And then we want to see also no file. Is this how we want to do this? Let me think again. Yeah, it seems there is really only assert exist and assert missing. I thought I remember something like seeing if a disk was empty or not, but maybe I confused this with something else. So let me check again. Want to make sure it deletes a temp file which we use to format. Okay, do we really have to test this before? Let's just run it and see what it does. So argument 2 of assert count must be countable or iterable. Okay, so this means we probably don't get any files back. So let's see what we get back here. Probably, maybe it's just null. Okay, we do get a lot back. We do get an array back. Okay, let me see again. So where's our mistake here? So an array should be countable, right? Isn't the array countable? Is there other array count, something like this? Okay, now I get it. Okay, so I just need to provide the array, not the count. So I think it probably should work like this. Let's check again. Haystack, yeah, okay. That's it. Or yeah, I think let's go with assert empty. Like you said, Adrian, I think that's more declarative and more describes what we really want to do here. So now on line 31. Okay, so we now have some files in here. Yeah, so we do. So I think we probably still go with a fake method to fake our TMP disk, and I think this should give us an empty one from the start, right? Okay, I think this looks better now, and now we need to do the same here. Okay, now we get a size of 1 back, and that's true because we haven't deleted it yet. So this means I think we're going to do this here. So storage, disk, tmp. What is it? Remove, delete, file name. I think it should work like this. Okay, file not found. Let me see about this here now. We're in the disk temp and want to delete this file. File not found at path. Okay, let me see my test. So could this be that the file that we are creating is now not inside this fake temp storage that we created? Could this be the problem? So because here we are storing our file. And let me see if we have this one here now here. So this 9. Okay, we don't have this here, so that's not the problem. Okay, let's check again. The error, file not found. So probably could be about the delete method. Where do we have it? It's here. So probably the delete method does not want the file name, just the path. Let me see. Think worse is here as well. Hello. Files gets removed before getting it. Why not tap the file and remove it in the tab callback? Okay, files gets removed before getting them. Okay, Adrian also said this. So the file gets... okay, I see. Thanks, that's a good catch here. So I'm deleting here the file, but I'm afterwards trying to get it. So think worse. Maybe you can tell me your name as well, then it would be easier to call you by name. Said we can use the tab. So I haven't been using the tab too much, but I really like to use it. So this means, how is it working? So we provide a value and we then return this value, but we also have a callback where we can do something with the value. So let me see, what would be the value in our case? So we probably want to delete it in the callback. So we have a callback. So you probably already noticed, I think. So let me see. Okay, Adrian also already wrote about this. So our value is storage disk, the file that we get. And then in the callback, we are still using the file name to delete it. Okay, let me try this out. So get file name, okay, and then we have a function. What are we returning here? This one. And I think I should convert into a short function. Let me just see. Why doesn't PHP Storm let me to convert it right now? Okay, we do it ourselves. So like this, then we don't need this. Okay, let me check again. So we have our value, that's this one, and then we have here the callback. Okay, already a lot of comments here. You're way faster than me. That would be Kim. Hey, Kim. Nice to have you here. Tab first parameter will be returned and passed as a parameter to the callback. So this means, yeah, okay, now I remember. So if we have something like a user and then we have a method that we want to use on the user that does not return the user itself, maybe like, I don't know, like updating something where you just get a Boolean back, and then you still want to return the user itself, then you would do it like with the tab. So this would be then the user, what we want to return. Yeah, so that's a content that we want to return. And here then we want to, okay, so we don't need to pass anything because we don't need it. So it means we're just making usage of the tab so that I can have it all in one comment, because actually I would first need to return it and then delete it, and this way we can have this all together. Is this right? Why can't we just store the get result in the variable? Yeah, so this would be the other thing that Fadel was talking about. So another approach, of course, would be to have the content here, something like this, then delete it, and then return the content. Yeah, so like this. But yeah, as Adrian mentioned, because we're the cool kids, Adele is fine as well. And that's why we do it somewhere else. So Kim also saying nothing needs to be returned from the callback since it's not used anywhere. Okay. And third option. What's the third option? And Adrian said you need to return, so PHP Storm converts it to. Yeah, but I did return something, didn't I? So let's get back here. So let's try this out again. So yeah, I know. So here we are returning something, and that's why. Maybe let's just see if functionality. No, PHP Storm is still complaining about it, and I'm not sure why. So we are returning something. It should give us back something. Third option, the context menu is convert to short blah blah blah. Oh, you mean I didn't see it? Oh, yeah. That was exactly the line that was in front of my microphone. Okay, so like this, and here we want to delete the file name. And yeah, as we mentioned, we don't need to provide the output of here. Okay, let's see again if our tests are passing. Okay, that's nice. Which one was that? This was the one about deleting. Let's also try out the other one. And okay, that's nice. So both tests are passing. So Thanks a lot, guys. So we make this work. So it seems like we can now run this from our new formatter class. So what's the next thing we want to do? So let's check our page here again. So this means we are providing this new snippet. We are entering here our content. And then inside our code snippet class, code snippets, I think, yeah, that's one. Yeah, so here we're actually storing the content. So what would be the next test? So I need some here to inject here our formatter class and then run this content through this class to get back the correct one. So, but since we're now in our LiveWire component, I think we need to add a test here. So let's see how we could do this. Let's get back to our test where we have our LiveWire tests, code snippets test. So what we're testing here stores the code snippet to database. I'm wondering if one of those are already failing. Yeah, of course they shouldn't fail right now because we haven't changed anything yet. Yeah, so they are still working. But they probably will fail because here we're setting some content and then PHP CS sniffer tries to format this content here, and this is not something that PHP CS fixer can fix. So this will fail. But what I think about here is creating a new test to make sure that the thing that gets stored to the database is now different from the content that we provided. Yeah, we can clap, everyone. Best moment was where I forgot about the $sign. That was the highlight. Thanks, guys. We made it work. So let's create a new test here. And yeah, so here we want to make sure that when we call our component, we save it, like we've done above in the method, that the content is being formatted. So it formats, keep with content here because we've used content here all the time. Okay, so we are acting our range part, we're acting as a specific user, and here with LiveWire we have our act and assert part. So we need to provide a name. Oh, that's a different test here. Oh, that's the one where we checked for our wild fields. So that's so let me think about this. So with our LiveWire test, we can set some content. We can call the submit method, and then I was wondering if I then can check here to see the formatted code with assert see something, but I'm not sure if this could be a problem, but I think I'm going to try it with this approach. So we have some content here. So let's try to provide it all here, but it might go to load it from somewhere else. So we have PHP file content. So I think we need to have this PHP starting tag for PHP CS fixer to make it work. But we also maybe write a test about this as well in the future. So then I think I'm just going with a normal function without a class, because this would be less code. Let's try it like this. I want to. I don't want to add here some more lines of code with the snippet, and I try to make it work with just one liner to keep it easier. So in the meantime, Adrian mocked the formatter and asserted was called. So if we make sure that the formatter is called, so we've made sure that it works. So I think this would work too. So let me see if we can combine this with our LiveWire test here. So I can call the submit method, and can I then make sure that the method was called? I think it should work. Let's try this. I think I still need to make sure. Do I need to make sure that I also see this on the page? So we already made sure that we've already made sure it was given code snippets. So here we already made sure that if we set some state, that's a factory. If we set some code snippets, that we see the content. Okay, so we made sure that the thing from the database is shown on our LiveWire component. So you're right, we don't really need to make sure that we see the thing on the page, but we want to make sure that it was called. So code snippets test. Let's see what Kim said. Would assert set work here after call? So that will assert that the property is set to a given value. Okay, that's also an interesting question. So this means, let me just go down here. So we set something, we call a submit method, and then assert that it was set. I think this should work too. Let me check again how we have implemented this. So yeah, so we haven't yet, but here we're probably calling this format method on our formatter class and provide the content, and then we're going to add the snippet to our snippets. This means it should work like this. Maybe let's give it a try. So let's see what Adrian said. Assume formatting will only happen on save. Yeah, for now I think so. Yeah, was this connected to what Kim said? If yes, let me know. But let's see if this would work as well. So we call the submit and then check if this is now different. So what I want to do is I want to check if this, I'm actually not sure how it's being formatted, but maybe like this. It would be interesting to see as well. So I hope we can see this then in the output. So without faking the formatter, you would disassert database has. So yeah, this probably would be better because when it's in the database, we have already made sure that it's shown correctly. So, but this means we can run this here. So this would mean we'll do like this, and then assert database has, and then the table, what's the table? It's code snippets. And then I think we just could go for content, and then the formatted version of this content. I think we're just going to try it out and see, and then we will lead us from there. But it seems we have a different approaches now. So okay, this is not inside our database. I think I just want to make sure that have I changed this? Let me just see. Oh, I haven't changed it yet, so that's the same thing. So I think I'm missing something here. Let me just see about this. Okay, let me check our code snippets here. Haven't we just created one? Probably we haven't. Let's check this method again, if I'm doing this correctly. We have the table, and then we have an array of data. Yes, I think this should work like this. But it also seems we don't have, we have a content with test. So not the one that I created today. No, it was from 2 days ago, but it should pass. So is the table called code snippets? Code snippet. So I'm doing something else wrong here. Okay, of course I can't think about the things that I see in the Invoker, because those are not the things that I have here, because here of course I'm refreshing the database. And so we always have something new. So this means we're calling here the submit method. Okay, yeah, I think I see the error now. We haven't set the name, and that's why it's probably not stored. Let's set the name to code snippet. All right. Try it again. Okay, now it's working. Here, Adrian also saw it as well in the meantime. So yeah, but actually what we want to test here is that our code is being formatted. So maybe just try echo here, some white space. I want to assume that we don't have those white spaces here. Something like this. Now, of course, it should fail because, yeah, we haven't changed anything yet. Okay, let's go back to our code snippets class. So inside here now I want to make use of our formatter. So let me see what's the right way to bring in a dependency in in a LiveWire component. I think like this. Is there any other way? I think you can't use the constructor because this is used for the call of the template in a file. Let me know if there's a different way, but I think for now I have to go with this approach, add a property here. And okay, and this now we're making use of our formatter called the format method. And okay, try our test again. I'm pretty sure it does not work yet, but let's see. Okay, Adrian said mount has dependency injection. So this means I should be able to do this. Okay, but still, I think the error would be the same because, let's see about this. Type property code snippets formatter must be accessed before initialization. All right, so one of those typical LiveWire problems. I think if I get rid of the type here, it probably works, right? Not sure if there's a better approach. Okay, cool. It seems this is not working as expected. So I think I don't get here back. Oh, okay, I do get it back. So what's the problem then? Because it's private, but I'm using it only here. So calling the format method on null was the error. Let's try again if I use a public property, but I don't think that's that. Is it? LiveWire property type not allowed. What is not allowed here? So if so, you mean like doing an optional is what Adrian is suggesting? But I think that's now a different error. So LiveWire components scope snippet public property formatter. Okay, yeah. So I don't. Different things. I don't want to have it public because then it gets also saved in JavaScript. So, but we're still calling the function format on null. So could it be that this is not working like expected? So what's the problem here? So we are getting a new format and we have already made sure that we have it here. Support code formatter. So this seems like an object we have here. Okay, and then later down here, we're making use of this formatter. Maybe you guys already solved it. Line 26. Yeah, I already thought this looked strange. So make it optional. So I can write it like this? No, public code formatter. Okay, this means, let me see. So this means this could be null. If it's not initialized yet, it's because the mount method is being run later than the constructor, but it also could be of type formatter. Okay, I think this makes sense. So what do we have now? Type property. Okay, it's still not working like expected. So what does Kim says? Protected code formatter is gleich null. Okay, also that means setting it null so that it's initialized at the beginning. Okay, I still don't see it. So I think that setting default value to string and null might fix it. Okay, that's what I tried. Okay, just use the class directly in the method you needed. Do you really have to do this? Is there no better way, no way of dependency injection inside my LiveWire component? I was also thinking about maybe changing the format somewhere else, like with a mutator or something, so that I don't have to do this inside my LiveWire component. That's something you always want to read. Just reword everything you have done. So I delete the project. And just resolve the formatter and use it only in the function you need it. Yeah, LiveWire hates type properties. You can use the constructor. Yeah, but if I use the constructor, wouldn't LiveWire think that I need to pass it in my template where I'm adding this template? Okay, I want to give this a try. So see what it does now. So I probably need to call the parent one. I'm skeptical. Yeah, so that's what I thought. So here now, LiveWire thinks I'm going to provide this through. Okay, I probably think you mean we could set this to null. Argument form must be of type. Okay, must be of type string. String given. Okay, it seems I get a string here. So the mount method is only called once and not every request. From the docs and LiveWire components, you use mount instead of a class constructor. Okay, so it seems there isn't a good solution right now. So let's just go old school for now. So this means inside here, let's create a new formatter inside our method. And let's try it like this. That's strange, there is no better solution. Yeah, okay, this might be a little bit better to get it from the service container. Resolve format class. Yeah, so this way a little bit more flexible if there are any specific things about how to create this class are needed. Okay, so what's the error now? Fail asserting that a row in the table looks like this. Okay, but found were this one here. So what does this mean? Yeah, so it's a little bit confusing because of our code snippet to see what's different, but it's really difficult to find a good small snippet here and make sure what's causing the error. But we are already using this, so it should run through PHPCS code sniffer. So could it be that this is the result of the fixer? I think it should get rid of those empty spaces. Adrian wants us to go back to mocking. So yeah, so the advantage of mocking would be that we don't care what the snippet is, how it is formatted. We just want to make sure it's being called. So let's see if we can, how our test would look like if we would go for mocking. So let's try this out. It calls formatter. Benjamin says +1 for real code example. Yeah, this would probably be better. So yeah, I actually want to make both tests. I think it would be a good idea to have this in our yeah, let's try to make this work first so we can do this. So it formats the content. So this means we're going to set here as content our real snippet. So the one that we already used. So storage disk temp, and that's, did we load this in our other test? So that's the wrong one. Okay, we set the content to the content of the wrong one. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, here we go. Okay, then we call the submit method. And now we want to check here for the correct one. I think this should work. Let's see if we can make it work like this. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to make it run, and then I'm going to check your comments to see what you already fixed. Okay, this looks good. Let me just try out something different to make sure it's working because of the correct reasons. Let's call here also Okay, also the wrong one. It should fail. Yeah, okay, good. Okay, so we have made it working. Yeah, it was a good idea to use a real example. Here, doc, I'm not sure what that is. Yeah, okay, that's what we did. Yeah, like you said, real world examples are much better. And yeah, I think maybe later in one of the next videos, I'll try to make some nice calls for these things here to make clear what this is and how to load this and make this a little bit more easy. But yeah, we can easily go to those examples here directly inside our test, so that's nice as well. Okay, and for just to try everything, let's also try to mock it. I have very little experience with mocking, so that's why I want to try this out as well. So let's see how this would look like if we would try to make sure that we've been calling the format method. So let's copy this here. It calls format method. So I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this all would be the same. So we're acting as the user, we're going in here, we're entering some data, we call a submit method, and now we also want to make sure that this method is called. So how would we do this? Can I just mock the formatter class here and then say should receive this method call? Is this the mocking helper? Yes, it's a facade. Out, guys, here. So I mock the class and then should receive. So let me try it like this. Mockery. This one. Code formatter class. Okay, I have here mock interface. Should receive. So that's the method call now, right? And I call this before I run this, right? Yeah. Benjamin is same like me, so I also almost never used it before. Okay, this mock. So I have this helper inside my class. Okay, the task class. And then should receive format once. Should we give it a try? Yeah, let's do. Okay, it seems to be working. Let's try it twice. Okay, it's failing. Okay, so this seems to work as well. Yeah, so this mock is the same as what we've done before, but yeah, it's nice if we have these methods here. So let's add this to the arrange act, but it's also acting here. So it goes for both here. Okay. Okay, nice. So I think let's check if all of our tests are passing. Okay, this looks good. Let me check again our code snippets test here. So code snippet to database. So yeah, I'm wondering right now because like I've said before, this is not actual code here. So it seems it gets stored also like this to the database. So probably if code snippet doesn't recognize it as code itself, it just stores it like this. So I'm not sure if you know about this, but maybe let's just try this out ourselves here. So hear this out. And maybe let's just commit this first before we do anything wrong here. And let's say format code snippets before stored to the database. Okay, and now let's see, let's create here a new file. And let's pass in here just some content and let's see what PCS Fixer does with that. Okay, it seems it just does nothing with that. Okay, that's fine. Yes, Adrian said you should also always prefix the code examples with PHP and write a test for that, so I don't have to care in all places. Yeah, so one thing that I know will be a problem. So I'm pretty sure if I add PHP and someone adds a function like public function export whatever, like this, like PHP Storm is already complaining, I'm pretty sure PHP CS Fixer will also complain. Yeah. So this means just adding PHP doesn't solve it because it depends on how people are providing their snippets. So it could be that they just want to provide a method that is called a public method from a class, but they don't want to provide the whole class. They just want to provide this method here. And I'm not sure how I'm going to tackle this. So currently, I might assume that people are entering whole classes that work. But yeah, I think in the future, I definitely want to make people able to add a code snippet in like this. Because if they only have to provide correct PHP classes, this could be tedious. So I think it should work like this as well. So yeah, what I could do is check if it is a public function, and if it is, I'm creating a class around it. Maybe something like this, and then it should work. So I think that's definitely something that Adrian would like. Such little tricky things. I wonder if there's a better way. So excuse me, I can't think of one, but if I start checking strings like this and yeah, maybe the next time people are maybe doing something differently, and yeah, it would be tricky to tell people what the format needs to be. I'm thinking about any applications where they need to do this. What if you do Stack Overflow? Yeah, they're not formatting your code. I think that's the thing. Most platforms don't format your code, and that's why this is a little tricky situation. But maybe there aren't too many different situations. So what could people provide? They could provide a whole class. Then everything is fine. What if they do a mistake? I think then we would see an error. Yeah. So I probably need to. Is this an error? Error. Let me see. Fixed all files that were not fixed due to errors. Okay, so this is an error. So this means I somehow have to handle the PHP CS fixer error. Yeah, because I need to show people if they're trying to import any code snippets that are not valid, because that doesn't make sense then for the platform. Let's see, we have some more comments. Would you like to store code snippets that are unable to format? Yeah, so that's the thing. Currently I don't think I want to. Because what does it mean if if I'm unable to format them? This means there may be an error. So this means I would try to prevent this and tell people check your code again, because if there are errors in the code, then yeah, it's much more difficult to get different versions of the code and let others work with it. And then B, if PHP CS fixer can't format it, it could also because yeah, it's not a class, the method is not inside a class, something like this. Because most likely it would be wrong code. Yeah, do you think so? Yeah, so of course it would be much easier if I don't format the code and people could just enter what they like. But for me, I think it would be much nicer if we could make this work. So Benjamin, what if use Ace editor for people to paste the PHP code? Ace is able to detect PHP problems, so maybe disable, submit, or let people know that you won't format. Ace editor. Let me check this one. So this means people could enter the code here, so in a kind of editor, which probably would be nice because then they also have some highlighting, I guess. What is expected identifier? Okay, maybe this could be about the language. Class properties must be methods. Okay, I think that's probably because it's PHP. But yeah, this might be a solution using an editor and checking also on the front side. I'm not really sure if I want to do those many checks on the front side, but yeah, it could solve something. Let me check the other comments, and that would be a bad example. So if the content in LiveWire changes, try to format and show an error. So if the content in LiveWire changes, try to format and show an error. Yeah, so this means when people are working on the code snippets here, if every time they change it, I check for the format and tell them before I store them. This could be interesting, yeah. And besides from missing wrapping classes. Code mirror is better. What is code mirror? Also a text editor. Is it no PHP? Auto completion, code folding, mixed language modes. What else do we have? Benjamin, beautiful tools, beautify tools, PHP beautifier. Beautify tools. So what can I do? Beautifier, PHP beautifier. Okay, so I can enter something here and then it gets beautified. Whoa, what's happening here? Enter PHP here. And that's not a result, but do I get some JavaScript here as well? Okay, but it seems like an online tool. Can I use it somehow in my code as well? Code mirror is also used by Marcel. That's always a good sign. Tinker uses it. Benjamin said they use ACE. As far as I know, it's able to detect PHP issues. All right, so yeah, so we're ready over 2 hours. So I think we should stop for now. Let's just get back to our to-do list and think about what else we want to do. So have we made, can we check this? So it's not yet fully checkable for me. So what are we missing? So we still think about what people are able to provide into the content. How is this detected? Is there an error, or do we have any formatting issues? So that's something that we have to think about. So what emoji do we? Yeah, let's take this one. I think that's pretty nice. Mimics the current situation. So we did it, but we're not sure yet. So I think we probably have to tackle this in another stream as well, to think about what are the possible solutions. Do we use an editor on the front, checking the code, or checking it with Livewire and the formatter that we already have, and then show an error every time people changing? Of course, an editor probably would be nice for people to add code, so maybe have some line numbers and to see some code highlighting already while coding. So these are all thoughts I have in my head right now, which I think we can solve right now. Use more example files with data provider to check different inputs. Yeah, so that's also a good point. So let's do a list for next time. Different inputs, data provider, and define what users can write in the input and where to validate. Users can write an input, check different inputs. So that's the first one. front-end editor maybe, or validate through live while save. Yeah, so these are some things I probably have to think about a little bit how I want to deal with this. But yeah, thanks for the input. This already helped me a lot. And with class, without. Oh yeah, the different inputs. Yeah, so that's what we have to test as well. But yeah, I think that's good for another time because we're already over 2 hours. Okay, so let's make another commit here. Update to-dos. And yeah, I think that's it for today. Thank you guys a lot. Thank you, Adrian, Benjamin, and I think it was Kim. Felix was here as well. Adele, not sure. Gertjen, as always. So thank you guys for helping me out as well. It was really interesting thinking about the different approaches we can go. And again, we checked out some different testing approaches, like with the mocking and then checking the database. And oh yeah, one thing we also wanted to check was if we can use the Symfony process package. So maybe I'm giving this another thought. It would make sense to do this as well. So yeah, thank you guys a lot. It was fun. I learned a few things, like every stream now. So I really like that. And I hope it was interesting, fun for you too. Maybe you learned 1 or 2 things as well. It didn't seem like that, but maybe you did. And yeah, let's work on the next time. So have a nice day, have a nice week, and see you around, everybody. Thank you, and bye, over and out.